All right. Announcements. We do want to remind everyone that we will not be meeting this admin meeting. We are not setting the agenda for Monday's meeting like we normally do, because we are not having a meeting Monday. Monday is Columbus Day, and it is a state, federal, county, and city. Found out this morning. City Monday also is a holiday. So we'll be meeting Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock in this very location. We're glad all of you back to join us. Everyone knows that. Any other announcements from anyone? All right, well, we will delve right into the agenda. A short but packed agenda today. The first item to be considered is a request to participate in a one-time post-election audit conducted by the Secretary of State. Judge Davenport is here with us today. Pull that microphone.
Yes, sir.
Over there. And explain to us what it is you and the Secretary of State are up to.
All right. Thank you, Chairman. The legislature in 2021 passed statewide legislation that approved a pilot post-election audit program. That legislation authorized the Secretary to reach an agreement with 3 counties to conduct a post-election audit. He has asked Houston County to be one of those 3 counties. We and myself and my election staff are willing to participate in that. The legislation requires that the probate judge and the county commission in conjunction agree to that. So I'm here asking for a resolution approving that participation in the post-election audit. You might have questions regarding any cost associated with it. The state is going to assume all of those costs. It's a limited audit. It will only audit 1 precinct, and at that precinct, it'll only audit 1 state race and 1 county race. So it's a test for the audit process.
So it's not, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
It's not really auditing anything. It's testing the audit process to perform an audit possibly in the future.
I think, yes, sir. I participated in an audit in Michigan with the Secretary's office maybe about 5 years ago. This is fairly prevalent around the nation and growing. So I think it's something that the legislature thought was important. What it will actually do, the nuts and bolts of it would be, the circuit court would issue an order authorizing the sheriff and I to open those sealed ballot boxes. We'll set up in this chamber, and I will probably have 10 or 20, I'll probably have 10 teams of 2 people with a supervisor observing that each one of them, and each of those teams will go down the ballot and record the tabulated votes from those ballots on a tally sheet. Then we'll compare that to the DS 200 results that we procure on election night.
So effectively a manual audit.
Yes, sir.
Electronic.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But to do it in a broader sense, we've got to work on that infrastructure if we were to ever move to that, because it will take us several hours, even with 1 precinct, with a team of 10 teams to do that.
Do you get to pick the precinct?
I do. It says in conjunction.
Don't get Westgate.
I am not going to get.
Madrid or somewhere.
I'm not going to get an exceedingly large one for sure.
All right, any questions for the judge? Everybody understand what you just explained? Question? Anybody object to adding that to the agenda? Other question for the judge?
I do. My name is George Trotter. I reside at 4218 County Road 203, Dothan, Alabama, 36301. Your Davenport, just, is this basically doing what we used to do, what our election officials used to do at elections, and that's actually count, and we just doing a spot, kind of a spot check? Is this all it's called? That's sort of what it is?
All right, you two can't have a conversation. You address us and then.
Duh, all right, okay.
Don't
I'm
interrupt
talking to
when
you
I'm
then,
talking,
sir.
George.
I'm
Don't
talking
do
to
that.
you. Well, don't be disrespectful to me,
Don't you?
looking at the man when I
Go
talk
sit
to
down.
him.
Go sit down.
I
Go
will.
sit down.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Judge, would you like to address that?
Yes, I'm not a young man anymore, but I don't recall in my lifetime, when I first voted at the farm center, we stuck a pin through a piece of paper, if I recall right. So I don't know that there was a time at least in my 57 years, that we hand counted ballots. However, we have used this system. I know there's a lot of concern, and there rightfully probably is concern around the nation about various equipment that some states use. For instance, there's a lot of press on the Dominion vote machine. We do not use that. We hand vote ballots, and they are tabulated by electronic reader. So this is, and as Mr. Trotter mentioned, yes, this is to compare hand counting a certain number of ballots to what the DS-200 tabulated. And we've got kind of several redundancies in that. The DS-200, and then there's the thumb drive authentication on that. So, and none of our equipment is attached to the internet, and that's some of the concerns around the nation. So there's no way to impact or affect the vote results that are tabulated on that DS-200. But yes, to answer his question, it is a comparison of the DS-200 results to a hand count.
Okay, thank you. Any objections to adding this to the agenda?
No objection.
All right,
May I say one other thing?
you may.
This may be my last opportunity to speak to you gentlemen before the November 16th transition. And I wanted to say to you, Chairman and Commissioner Singfield, what a privilege it has been to serve with you guys. Chairman, particularly, you've had a lot of years of experience, and I have been a beneficiary of those years of experience. And I appreciate you, the things that y'all know that I try to do a lot of innovative things around here. And you guys both have been supportive of those requests. And I've not gotten everything I've always wanted, but y'all have always been, your ear has been open and you've been honest with me and in my time here. So it's a pleasure serving with you. Best of luck to you both.
I appreciate those comments, and has also been with you. You were certainly invited back on the 24th. Whatever. Presentation.
Chairman.
No, not sorry, don't say that. You absolutely.
Judge, I want to tell you and Heather and y'all, the past few weeks, I've had a lot of citizens calling me and bragging about how fast they've been moving through the tagline, how things are working well, moving forward compared to what it used to be. And I wanted to publicly tell y'all, you're doing a great job, and I appreciate it. It's nice when your citizens give great compliments like that. But I can tell y'all working hard, and I appreciate what y'all do.
Credit to Heather and all of her employees.
Thank you. All right, next item to be considered for the agenda is a request to adopt a resolution in support of Amendment 2 and Amendment 7 to the Alabama Constitution. You have before you a resolution which I will read on Tuesday. Our association has been very active in promoting these two amendments. I think there are, how many amendments on the ballot, Judge?
I think 10.
10 amendments. Amendment 2 and 7 are the two that we are especially interested in. For your information, Amendment 2 authorizes by law counties to participate in broadband expansion. Basically, I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as I can. There's a lot of interest in expanding broadband into underserved parts of the state of Alabama. Most of those expansions are in collaboration with private companies. There is a prohibition in the law about counties and cities giving a thing of value, if you will, to private companies like broadband companies. This authorizes counties and cities counties to partner with those entities to provide broadband to our citizens. Counties, particularly counties out in the unincorporated areas, just don't have the capacity to do what the broadband companies can do without some fiscal assistance. Obviously, broadband is supported and funded by the customers they run the service to. This particular amendment allows for help to those companies to get broadband out into the underserved areas. So we would certainly encourage a yes vote on that. Amendment 7 updates the local economic development amendment that is currently in place. Matt, you want to comment on Amendment 7 since you're here? And as I said, I will read the resolution on Tuesday. I'll read that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commission. And just to give you an update on Amendment 7, if you recall, back in 2004, we passed Amendment 772, which in theory was supposed to put all Alabama counties on equal footing for economic development. Again, there's 47 counties that had individual local amendments. Some of those counties tied themselves to the same amendment. We were under Amendment 429. What we've ran into is that we do not conform to 772 with our local amendment. So we are having to go through additional steps on every one of our projects where we use a 772 mechanism for an economic development project, where we have to approve the project with the local government level. And then we also have to go to the court and get it validated. That creates a lot of time and cost on that. So this amendment will allow us to, once it's passed at the local level, it'll be ratified, and we will not have to go to take further steps for a court validation hearing unless it's under litigation. But that will resolve that. The other important thing is the public notice. It allows, we will do public notices on all these to the largest newspaper in circulation for that area. So that's a big benefit for us. And again, it just create equal footing for all of us. It'll clean up all the previous amendments out there and make us all fall under the 772 amendment. It's a complicated issue, but it's a good thing from, I can just tell you administratively, it's a really good thing.
Yeah, basically you got some counties conforming to one set of rules and other counties having to conform to other set of rules, and this squares it all. All right, we appreciate it. Anybody object to adding that to the agenda?
I have a question,
Item number
sir.
3, no, sir. Item number 3, request to approve $12,500 from Audit to include $2,500 in-kind match for computerized mapping project. Mr. Holland, come explain this to us.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
This is, we had an aerial photography project that we just participated in. Started in March. We just received our final product 2 weeks ago. And ALDOT always likes to participate with us and provide funds to help us with our project. And in return, they get a copy of our data to do their road construction projects, things like that with it. And it's a $12,500 grant that they provide. And so I think it's an 80-20 match. We paid $2,500, which we've already done that through invoices and such for paying for the project in total. And then they'll provide us with $10,000 to help support the project.
All right, so it's a $12,500 grant, and we match 20%, which we have already invested. So
That's correct.
in essence, it's a $10,000 inflow to the county
Correct.
for them to use our information.
Yes, sir.
All right, do we need to amend this for a budget amendment or not? I mean, to include a budget amendment or not?
I think it would be wise to include it
Okay.
as a revenue component.
All right, so basically, you're okay with that, that's just a bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Request to approve $12,500 from Allocation to include a $2,500 in-kind match for computerized mapping project and appropriate budget amendment. Okay, everybody good with that? Any questions for Greg?
One, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Yes, sir.
What's the timeline on that after it's approved? How long is that in effect?
Until we get the 10,000 from Aldott.
No,
is
I'm
that-
talking about after we get the money. I know we'll get the money. After that's done, when will we get, how long is was that 1 year to the mapping or the digital?
No, well, the project's already been completed. So we already have that data in our possession at this point in time. And then we're on a 5-year cycle, so we'll do that again in another 5 years.
They're just using the data we've already got. Is what it amounts to. We've already got that.
Yes, sir, you're welcome.
Any questions? All right, any objections to adding that to the agenda? All right, item number 4 is a request to adopt resolution for the adoption of implementation policies and procedures for providing public assistance to nonprofits using American Rescue Plan Act funds. You have a resolution in front of you. We had a work session the other day. Some of you attended, I know some were out of town. We have had a line item in our ARPA funds since we started talking about it, I think, set aside for use, organizations, agencies, if you will, nonprofits that were impacted by COVID. This basically authorizes those funds, and then I think our discussion was that you all would set up the parameters of that and timing on sending out the applications at a later time. This is just setting the funds aside, basically, right?
Yes.
Correct. Anybody have any questions about that? Yes, sir.
Ms. Sharon, I couldn't hear you very well, not speaking. Did you say that in this motion, this authorization is going to allow y'all to do some things for the youth program? Did I hear you say that?
This is for nonprofit. agencies.
Nonprofit,
Some
which would be like our Houston County recreational youth programs, right? Is that fair to say that would fall in that category?
There are, I'm not sure if they will or not. There are certain designations that these ARPA funds, as you know, we've talked about them forever. There are certain requirements that these ARPA funds have to meet, that the recipients have to meet in order to be used. Not all agencies will meet the requirements, but once we do this and the regs are set up, what we will do is take applications at the appropriate time, send them to our oversight organization in Montgomery. They will determine if they are proper or not, and then the commission will have to come back and vote on each one individually.
Okay. I don't think y'all are informed. I want to inform you a little bit about what's going on around Houston County. There's, I want to say probably close to 2,000 youth in programs that run year round. Most of them are athletic, some of them relate to other things, but there's over 2,000 and they get not one red cent. These parents have to pay anywhere from $75 to $100 to register a kid. Then they have to buy the uniforms. And then they're asked to do this and do that and all. And I'm just asking, please consider some of this money, that's the taxpayers' money, And all these kids have suffered through the COVID hoopla and all this stuff, not only through education, but through these programs and all. And please look into possibly funding this youth program in Houston County with some of this money. Please, thank you.
Adding that to the agenda. All right, item number 5 is a request to adopt resolution for allocation of American Rescue Plan Act revenue replacement funds for economic development projects. I will call Mr. Parker back to the podium. We had a public hearing at 9:30 this morning as required by law. Received comments regarding this. Again, this is a project that we've had on our approved list that we approved several months ago to partner with now the state and the city to develop some new industrial land, which we are in desperate need of. It's a good problem to have, right, Matt?
Yes, sir.
Out on Makersfield Road, our portion of this is $900,000. And the city would have a like amount, and then the state would have some amount in this also. It doesn't want, but we had to have the public hearing this morning. Now we designate the funds, and then the process continues from there. This is through the City of Dothan Industrial Development Board, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Carry
And
on.
also I want to recognize Colton Puritan with my office, who's worked very hard on all this as well. But back this past summer, we secured the opportunity to buy 86 acres of industrial property through the Industrial Development Board. We've closed on that and owned it in the goal of adding more capacity in our market because we need more industrial sites. So this is positioned very well. There's a small portion that's actually in the city limits, and the remainder is in unincorporated Houston County. And so the intent was to get that ready, shovel ready, with water, sewer, infrastructure, road, and drainage improvements to position that, to have that a ready and available park. We'll have flexibility. We'll be able to pull up basically about a 50-acre tract of land for a big project and have some other property around 22 acres and 10 to have a good mix of lot sizes there. But the intent was to infrastructure that with the opportunity for ARPA funds and the Industrial Development Board's action to secure that. We're positioned now to move forward to put the infrastructure in there in partnership with the city on kind of a 50-50 partnership basis to do that, and ready to move forward. Appreciate Mr. Covert's work on the subrecipient information that we had to submit for the board and all the action that has positioned this project to move forward. Again, our Industrial Development Board, can't thank them enough, Chairman Hayne Hollis and the whole team to work and fill that void that we have in our market. So we're ready to move forward with it. We will take the next steps with the City Commission to secure that funding, get it designed, and abide by the regulations that we have to abide by with this funding. But we're really excited about it. It's really going to be cool. And another great thing, recognizing Barkley and Tyler and Ashley and their crew with the Smart Lamb and Peak Renewable work with the access road on the Hodgesville Road area. That's also going to open up another 90 acres for us to give us some more sites too. So we're working to get more product, and that's the key, and that has been a challenge. So we appreciate your consideration for this very much.
I was gonna say, this process started probably 5 years ago. We had that study and looked at all kinds of properties all over the county, actually outside the county too. And I think this side and where Smart Land is were really the two that jumped out as accessible. So really happy that we were able to participate in this thanks to these ARPA funds, and help with the other side too, because all that means is we're going to be able to create opportunity for our citizens by creating jobs, and that's, we've talked about ad nauseam. That's our focus. That's what we do, and I believe that's why our community continues to grow like it does, is partnerships that we form to create good opportunity for our citizens. So thank you for your hard work and making this happen, and look forward to moving forward with that. Questions from Matt? George, you gonna comment on everything on the agenda with that?
Yes, sir, if you don't mind, the ones that I feel in public that the people out here would like to know about.
Right, that's the First Amendment right.
I think all of you.
Good.
Go ahead.
Chairman, Commissioners, I know y'all tired of me saying this, but I'm gonna continue saying it. Because it's the view of the people out here across this county that y'all not in touch with. And Mr. Herring, my county commissioner, is it okay if I look at him, sir? My county commissioner, District 3. Why don't you stand up and say, we're tired of spending all of our county commission revenue for Dothan city limits and not spending it out across this county like in Rehoboth and Taylor and other places across our county where we desperately need an industrial park. And by the way, Mr. Chairman, I'm hoping to God before I die that I will see Houston County, Dothan, Alabama have a Chamber of Commerce that stands up for Houston County and Dothan, not just Dothan. Thank you, sir.
We have an excellent Chamber of Commerce that stands up for Dothan, Houston County, Dale County, Henry County, and Geneva. You can sit down. And Geneva County, and does a tremendous job. Otherwise, we wouldn't need all these industrial parks, and we are thankful that we have them.
Yeah. Do we have one in District 3?
Sit down, please.
He wants out, sir. I'm standing up to let the man out.
I don't know that I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm debating on it. So. Yes, sir. Come on.
Jerry Charles Dillard, long time Houston County taxpayer. And my topic this morning involves the American Rescue Plan Act funds. And this commission, they voted to give the city of Dothan $1 million for green space.
That's not the agenda item. If you're talking,
Okay,
you need to
and
speak on the agenda item that you're speaking.
well, the agenda still is like George said. I talked with the finance director of City of Dothan, and they awash with money. They had a record financial year on sales tax, everything, lodging tax, everything. And then this consider District 3, like Taylor and Rehoboth, we have a large green space. And we need money out there rather than the city of Dothan, because they have 10 times the funds that the county does. And like George said, we need a green space out in Taylor, Rehoboth, and Ashford, Calvert, whatever the portion of the population, you can divvy it up. And what say you, Commissioner Harry?
You address the commission, not an individual commissioner.
Okay. So that's what I brought up here. We need help in the county, not Dothan.
Okay. Thank you. Let me just inform you too, I'm not gonna call on y'all to address any more ARPA funds, because I've said it many times, there are restrictions on these funds. You can't just spend them anywhere. Y'all obviously don't understand that, so don't ask to be recognized about any more ARPA funds being spent. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm George Trotter. I am tired of having my civil rights violated, and I will see y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any questions for Matt about this? Okay. Any objection to adding that to the agenda? No. You want to make a comment?
If you don't mind,
I
may
will
make
go
some
right ahead,
comments
yes.
and say,
Yeah.
I would tell you that I appreciate y'all's encouragement every time you come up here. Y'all are so encouraging, and I appreciate it so much. And that is sarcastic. However, we do have an industrial park. It is by McLean Parkway on State Line Road. It is a District 3. where there's about 240 acres down there. McLean is in District 3, and there is an industrial park out there, and there are things that are in the works down there at that industrial park. So there is something that is happening. Town of Taylor not only put in going to put in a water and sewage treatment plant. So there's some things in works there in the town of Taylor. And there's some other things possibly coming, such as the ACOP facility in the town of Taylor, another facility coming over there. So I say these things to say that as far as District 3 goes in Houston County, my district also expands into the city limits of Dothan, not just in Houston County. There are about 65% of property owners inside the city limits of Dothan pay property taxes in Houston County. And with that being said, they have a right, just like every citizen does out in the county that's not in the city limits somewhere. So they have a right to have things from the county, just such as anyone else does, any other citizen does. So as for Ricky Herring in District 3, I will continue to support all of Houston County, not just certain areas. And I will continue to support my district. And I will do it in the right way, and it will be respectfully. And I will do what I feel is best for the citizens. I was elected to that position. There were several that ran in that position last. I was re-elected to that position, and I'll continue to stand firm and stand up for what's right and do what's right for my district as I feel. Thank you.
What about the green space?
You're not recognized. Any objection to adding that to the agenda?
No.
All right, item number 6 is a request to adopt a resolution allocating American Rescue Plan Act revenue replacement funds for window replacement and envelope sealing at the administrative building and authorize chairman to execute a contract. As you all know, we received bids. They were extremely high. We were able to cut out $1.2 million from the bid. So we now have a project pending contract that we can live with. This resolution will authorize the funds that we've had set aside, and hopefully, thank goodness, we can move forward with this project. Any questions, Sean here? I can't see behind that pole. No. So if you have questions for Sean, we'll get him here Monday. You have questions for Peter, he can answer them, or if not, any comments or any objections adding this to the agenda? One comment, yes, sir.
And regards Sean, hey, he's not here because I was going to see he's being able to negotiate this down $1.2 million. I think it's a big deal. I'm very thankful to have people like him on our team. That's it.
Thank you, Sean does a great job. No objection adding to the agenda, we will do so. Item number 7, request to approve updated sanitation policies and procedures. Art.
Yes, sir.
I want you to tell us the updates, what we are doing different, the enhancements that we are providing. And we talked about it at the meeting where we
Basically, right now, we'll pick up a small truckload of trash or remodeling debris or something like that that a person puts out. They usually have to call it in, Jim and then go look at it. Yeah, we'll pick it up, no, we won't. What we're doing is changing that to a 10 by 10 area, which is basically a half a truckload. If there's trash put out there by a property owner and it meets those requirements, we're gonna have it on a route. They're just gonna start grabbing it, picking it up, going. So hopefully that's gonna speed up these piles, some of these piles that sit out there in the county. If it's larger than a 10 by 10, there'll be a charge. Jim and them will go get with them, or the supervisor will go get with them, look at it. But we're increasing the area that they can put it in, the amount they can put out there. And we're taking having to go look at every pile out and let the drivers just start collecting it as they go by. And it's not gonna be weekly like the city of Dothan. We think we can make around every 2 to 3 weeks. So, but that's what we're trying to do, is speed that process up, streamline it a little bit, and clean up the county. So,
yeah, so in essence, we're gonna, when you put your trash out in a confined area, we're just gonna pick it up just like we do your can, rather than currently you have to call and have somebody look at it, go through a process, and in some cases pay a fee. Right. As long as it's in that enhanced area, we'll just pick it it up and it's covered in your garbage.
Right, as long as it, we don't sit in here, we'll pick up batteries, tires, propane.
Right.
tanks. I mean,
Environmental.
we're not changing what we pick up, we're just changing the amount.
Right.
And the frequency of it is what we're trying to do.
And we're adding that crew, so
Yes.
we're gonna be picking up quicker and better and not having all those piles of debris that y'all have all got, limbs and whatnot, that y'all have got calls about. So overall, I think it'll be better for our citizens, and, we're asking them to pay a little more. I think we should provide better service or additional service. All right, any questions about that? Y'all have all had those to look at. Any questions for Barkley regarding the changes?
Bart, I was looking at this, so if it's in a 10 by 10 square, within that dimension,
Yes.
no matter how high. If we're trying. Okay.
By the way, I mentioned that we're gonna mail a synopsis out to all of our, if this is approved Tuesday, we're gonna mail out to all of our customers a synopsis of this, so they'll know that they won't have to, so everybody will have what the changes are and what the new things they can do are, so everybody will have it in their hand. What they require.
I do want to stress, anything put out there by a contractor needs to be hauled off by a contractor.
Right.
We do not pick up contractor debris. If you remodel a house, contractor does it, they need to haul it off. Contractor comes trim limbs, they need to haul it off. We're still charging for limbs, but if a contractor puts it out there and we get called to pick it up, it's gonna be a higher charge. So
But we're doing that now.
we are. So.
All right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
If it's a larger than the 10 by 10, then they need to call,
Yes.
same way we're doing it currently now.
Yes,
If it's
sir.
larger than that.
Yes, or if they put it out there, it's too big, the supervisor will probably look at the hanger and get it to the lid.
On our sanitation cans that picked up, if by reason a storm or something came and those cans are blown out the road and somebody runs over them at night, how do we differentiate that? If that can is damaged on a storm?
Well, I don't, the supervisor will go look at it and determine if it's blown out. We hadn't really had that. He would go look at it and see,
Well, I do know we see a lot of cans that the garbage is picked up on Wednesday, they're still out there on Friday. And that's some concern that, people need to realize they only have 24 hours to get that can off the right of way.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
that's a good point.
I mean, if we see one and it's continually being left out there, they put a door hanger. Tell them to get it in. If it's still left out there, the second time we go get the can, leave the door hanger, they have to pay $50 to have the can delivered back.
Yeah.
Cans left out there, yeah, they are. I mean, we can't be at 13,000 people's houses every week. I mean, but usually there's chronic people that leave it out and they'll go get it. And sometimes people go on vacation. I mean, that garbage is due out on Wednesday and they leave Wednesday, go on vacation. They don't come back to Sunday and leave the cans out there.
Well, still need to make arrangements to have them off.
They need to try, yes. If that can gets damaged on a Friday,
Yeah.
they have to pay to replace it.
Yeah.
Which is $150 charge to replace the damaged can.
Thank you.
Other comments?
Just, I guess, a couple of comments and questions.
Yes.
I do think this is a good step in the right direction, because this is one of the chief complaints that I've gotten in about 8 years I've been in office. I think a lot of people just assume that they can put something by the road, somebody, whoever will pick it up. That's just not necessarily the case. Well, now, I think that will be the case. So I think that's good. It would be nice, I'll say this, and once y'all kind of get going to figure out some kind of schedule, that way, citizens in Wicksburg or Hobart, at Cottonwood, they kind of know what to expect, pick up the website type of thing. That'll be nice.
And I think it will be once it gets started. Like I said, he's thinking he can make a round every 2 to 3 weeks, do a couple of rounds of trash, a couple rounds of limbs, you know, now they're still charged for limbs.
Yeah.
But, I think it will become, you know, they'll be here in the next 2 weeks or something. And it may be faster than that, I don't know, just depending on how much stuff gets put out there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be some learning
Yeah.
for us and for the citizens.
Yes.
It's not really at the service.
Yes. I will say this, though, the big truck is helping tremendously. Good. And we'll probably get another big one, because it just really. Next year. It's in the budget. But it has tremendously helped. But we're basing our pricing on the regular size trucks. We're not confusing that.
Other comment? All right, anything else from the commission to be considered for this agenda? All right, and we will see you all on Tuesday. Remember, Tuesday, not Monday.
Okay.